Hey everybody, Rachel here with Givebutter. You are going to love today's success story. I have here with me Deana from the great city of Nashville, better known as Music City. And today she is going to share with us how they put gift cards in the hands of those most affected by March's tornadoes and COVID-19. She's going to share why they chose Givebutter, what made their campaigns so incredibly successful, and tips and tricks we can all walk away with to make our campaigns even better than they already are. So, Dee, thank you so much for representing Music City Inc. Foundation and for joining us today.
Absolutely. Happy to be here. Thanks for asking us. It's been quite the ride.
I can only imagine. To start, could you tell everyone a little bit more about who you are and what you have been raising funds for?
Sure. I am the Chief Marketing Officer for Nashville, actually Nashville Tourism. So it's the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation. And the 1st of March, Nashville was hit by a really bad tornado. It took out several neighborhoods. So many households were affected by it, and businesses as well, and a lot in the hospitality industry. Now, this was 2 weeks before the virus hit. So Nashville's had a double whammy, and we had no idea what we were in for. But when the tornadoes hit, we gathered in our office just with senior staff, and we said, okay, what can we do? You know, obviously visitors are not going to come right now during this while everything is, not everything, but these smaller neighborhoods were shut down. So we needed to redirect our efforts into helping the community. And we decided, and we learned this from the flood. Actually, it's kind of ironic. 10 years ago, this past weekend, we had a 1,000-year flood. So Nashville was really, you talk about underwater. I mean, Broadway, which you can see in my background, Broadway had water, the river was up, Opryland was closed. I mean, so many things were affected. And we learned that the community did a great job of raising money, but it was not as easy to get it to right in the hands of the people that were affected and immediately in their hands. That's when they need it. You know, they don't have power, they don't have, you know, their houses, they might have to go to a hotel. There's so many things, you know, they don't have food. There's so many things that they need immediately. And a lot of times when you raise money, it takes a while to get, you know, down to from one group to another group to the individual. So we learned that during the flood, and we hated that. So we had a lot of desperate people. So this time we decided we would raise money and we would turn around and give it directly to the people as fast as we could. And that's what we did.
Wow, that's amazing. I just can't imagine all that you have had to adapt to in the last couple months here.
Yeah, it's pretty devastating. You know, just to see the looks on people's faces when they're in front of their houses and, you know, everything is gone, or their place of work is gone and their houses. And so we also ended up having to prioritize like how we would distribute the money. And that was another thing that we learned a lot about. And I'm happy to share as much or as little as you want to know. So just tell me.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Um, Tell me a little bit more about your fundraising strategy when the tornado hit. I know you said your goal was to ultimately put money into the hands of those most affected right away. What was your fundraising strategy going into that?
So we immediately put up a campaign. We created a campaign called Nashville Strong because a lot of people were already starting to use that. And it's pretty common, but it was, you know, hashtag Nashville Strong, but it was keep the music playing and in Music City, basically. So it's like, we have to keep going, you know, we can't give up. And Nashville's a really strong community, very creative community. And we knew that people would pull together if we could rally the troops, if you will. So we did that campaign the next day after the tornado. So the tornadoes hit, and the very next day we launched this campaign, and we did T-shirts and graphics, and you'll see it, I think, here in a minute, what we did. And we started putting it out on all our socials. And we created a platform a while back where we could take registrations and payments for different things. And so we just used that because we didn't know anything else to use. And we put that up, and then our IT guy did some quick research and he found Givebutter, which we were thrilled because it's, I didn't know the back end, I didn't know the name of Givebutter, but I had seen it on several social campaigns, mostly like Facebook, where it would give you like the options on how much to donate. And it seemed like it was really easy. And so we were talking about that, and he found it. And it's so much easier than what we were doing. We had all these buckets of you could pay over here, you could pay here, you could pay here. And then once we found Givebutter and put it on our website, it just made everything so much easier. It all went into one place. So we were thankful when we found you guys.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because you were just mentioning your beautiful campaign, and I want to show everybody what it looked like. So this is the main page for those who are looking, and they have used the Givebutter Collect form, which is what you're looking at right here. That's embedded into their website, and like Deana was just saying, it's super easy. You just click how much you want to give, continue, and in a few clicks you're done. So what really stands out to me that makes this Collect form so phenomenal is you made it really simple and clean. And when you look at it, you think checking out is going to be quick. It's going to be easy. There's not a million pictures and a giant story. And you put this together in 24 hours, which I think is amazing. So what else kind of stands out to you when you look at this form, Deana?
So it's so easy to me, because I didn't know it, but I had used it or had donated to it on other for other charities. And I just think the power of suggestion, because you have all the different options on what you can give. And so you're looking at, you're like, oh, I could give $10, but really maybe I should go ahead and do $250 or $500 because it's right there. And I think that's just a great way to do it. But it also tells you it's okay to just do $10. I think that's pretty powerful when you are the one that's donating. You want to see that kind of acceptance, if you will. It's like it's all right to do 10, but you can also do 1,000. I don't know if you can go back to our other screen that had the logo and all that, but I really liked that it may be one page before that. I really liked that we could customize it, and we had our graphics that we were able to put all of that with it. And I think that just gives it a little, I don't know, more credibility and a little more excitement. And then you have all the options of how you can do it. And I love that you don't have to go to the website. You can do it on any of your phones. So it will either go to the Google Pay or Apple Pay if you're on an Apple phone. We just liked having all the options. With the format that we had, we didn't have all those options. Like I said, it went into different buckets. So this just made it so much easier to donate and to collect.
Mm-hmm. I like that you brought up the point about mobile. So important, especially when it's a relief aid situation, because it's happening instantly. You're trying to get those funds as soon as possible. And the quickest way people can do that is on their phone.
Well, and if you see socials, we put it out on Instagram and Twitter and everything that we have. And so if you're looking at that, you're like, oh, I want to give right now. I don't want to have to go remember the website and, or call or whatever, like the old days when you had to do all the telethons and stuff. But this just makes it so much easier to give right then. You can see all the different ways that we promoted it, and the t-shirts and all that. And we just started getting donations in like crazy. We ended up, I think, with 440 donations on Givebutter, which was great. And they all happened so fast. I mean, it was just in a, few days of that total amount, which was so good.
It is amazing that you were able to do that so quickly within 24 hours, and people responded just like that. And I know that you also have pivoted since then and have started responding to continuing needs in your community with COVID-19. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so unfortunately, 2 weeks after the tornado is when we had to end up shutting down the city for because of the virus. So we started, I mean, it was literally 2 weeks to the day that we started closing Broadway, all the honky tonks and the restaurants, and just saying we have to do this stay at home, like most cities. I think we did it a little bit sooner than a lot, especially in the South, just because Nashville is such a popular destination and so many people were here over the weekend. We had the SEC basketball tournament, so a lot of people were in town, and then they canceled it after one night of games. And so all those people were in town and they were all in all these honky tonks. And it got a little crazy, and you think about spreading the virus was not really good PR. So we shut it down, and then all of those restaurant and honky tonk and hotel employees were out of jobs. They started laying people off. So we knew that we needed to help our industry and our community, and give back. So we did have to pivot a little bit. So I'll go back to what we did immediately after we raised funds. We raised funds within 24, 48 hours, the bulk of it. And then we immediately had ordered gift cards of $500. So we started handing out gift cards to people. Like, we went literally door to door. We would go, so East Nashville, Germantown, North Nashville, they were all hit by the tornado. So we collected names from community leaders, city council, people in those districts, and said who was really affected. And we prioritized. We said who lost their house, and their job, who lost their house, job, and car. And so we kind of went down and prioritized. But we had our team, or our staff, go out in teams of like 4 or 5 people, and they went door to door, and they would hand these gift cards to people, and just the stories and the tears and the appreciation, it made it all worthwhile. And it was exactly what we meant to happen. I mean, we wanted to help them right away. And so many people were like, oh, now I can go get food, or now I can go, pay this bill, or I can go get supplies to clean up my place. I mean, there's just so many stories, and you just see how it really made a difference. So once we gave out as many as we could, I mean, we just kept getting lists and giving them out, but we still had money left. And then the virus hit, and we shut things down, and the employees were out of work. So we went through that list of hospitality employees, because we're a membership organization and have about 1,000 members that are restaurants, hotels, attractions, all in tourism. So we started asking them, give us names of your employees that are out of work, give us names, who've been affected the most. And then we started giving out gift cards for that. And it's just really made a huge difference. And people, you don't think when you're out of work, or when you're working, you might not think a $300 gift card or a $500 gift card would mean that much, but it does when you're out of work and you need every penny that you have, or your house is destroyed from the tornado. It means a lot. So just seeing that we could make a difference like that has been incredible. And it's not our day job. Our day job is to bring people to Nashville to have a good time and be on vacation, and go to all these places and experience the city and the music. And so we completely had to do a 360 and take care of our community. And it has made a huge difference in how we are looked at in the community, and how much people appreciate just that effort of trying to help them.
Just incredible. I mean, kudos to you and your team for being able to, like you said, 180, totally turn everything around so quickly and 2 times in such a short period of time, to make a really direct impact in the lives of those who need it most in Nashville, which it's just inspiring. So I'm really glad we're able to hear more about what you guys have been doing, all the good that's been happening in Nashville in spite of all of the pain and all of the struggle. You've shared a little bit about how Givebutter was able to help you do that really quickly, really easily. Is there anything else you would add to the list in terms of your Givebutter experience that you're like, yep, it was quick, it was easy? Anything else that you would say that helped you helped it to be successful?
Um, I mean, I think the main things are that it's quick, it's easy. We put it up so fast. Once we learned about it, we put it up so fast. The team at Givebutter is so good to respond, and it's very like self-explanatory. I mean, it's not difficult at all to launch or to, the onboarding is really easy, and it's nice that you can customize it. Just putting our graphics and our logo on there, so it's not just this kind of
Mhm.
plain thing that everybody else has.
Mhm.
um it's a good tool. It's nice to be able to see the back end of it, and you can see real time like who's donating and how much they're donating, and you can tell if you launch something like you know something on Instagram or on Facebook, that you can see that immediate response, and we love that. We're like, oh wow, that really worked. Or um, Justin Timberlake tweeted that he donated to it, so we're like,
Wow.
okay, that's huge. And so then you can see the effect of that, of other people that are following him. So it's nice. It's nice to have those celebrities to
Yeah.
endorse it. But yeah, we like the back end of it is really strong.
Yeah, it seems like it was just seamless for you, just fit right in with the graphics you already had going, the process you had with social, all the traction you built on there. You almost mimic that experience on your collect form.
Yeah, and when you're going through something like that, I mean, we were stressed to the max. We were trying to figure out, what was even going on in our community, who's open, who's closed, what we need to do with the visitors that are in town that were affected. I mean, a lot were staying in the Airbnbs or hotels that they had lost their power. So we had a lot going on at the same time. So we needed something that was easy, that we didn't have to think about. And that's one thing that Givebutter did. It was like, here you go. You can customize it as much or as little as you want, and you're up and running. And that just made our lives so much easier. So we appreciated that part. We didn't need anything else that was difficult at that time.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. What would you say to anybody who's listening that maybe is kind of on the fence about starting a relief campaign page like you had? Maybe they're another city in the States, or they're a small business that wants to just give back but maybe has never tried it before. They're new to fundraising. What would you say to them?
I would say just do it. I mean, people want to help. That's the one thing that you learn when you go through things like this, that people want to help, they want to give. And the easier you can make it, the more credible that you can make it. If you put it out there exactly what you're doing with the money and how it's getting to whoever you raise it for, I think that's important. But it's not difficult. Probably the most difficult thing is distributing the funds. So you want to make sure that you have that in place of how you're doing it. A lot of people raise it for one person or one company or whatever it is. So that's not as hard as for an entire community. But there are ways to do it, and you can do it. But I would just say, it's not difficult to put up at all, and it's worth it. I mean, even if you get $100, it's worth it because you're going to help somebody else.
That's right. So good. Do you have any final like tips or tricks that you could give to people who are already using Givebutter that you discovered?
Oh gosh, tips and tricks. That's probably gonna be better for the IT people that are actually doing that stuff. But I would say, as far as raising money, the more you can promote it, the better. So the give better part to me is the easy part.
Good.
The promoting it and getting people to go to it is where you need to put your efforts, because
Mhm.
you want otherwise nobody's just going to find your page to give you money. You have to tell them what's going on and what you're raising it for. So the promotion of it.
I think that's great, because a huge part of what makes campaigns, what we see, what makes them successful or not as successful, is their ability to be able to tell their story and promote it. And
Right.
that's something
Mhm.
that I'm so glad we were able to screen share with everybody because, and everybody who's watching, please go click on their campaign page because it is phenomenally done. It's just so inviting. And like I said, you just look at it and you think, this is easy. I can donate. No problem.
Right,
I don't have any
right.
questions. I know exactly what they're doing with the money. They're transparent. The
Hmm.
process, like you mentioned, you can use Apple Pay, Google, Venmo, makes it really easy. So thank you so much for inspiring us with not only how you use the campaign, but more importantly, what you're doing with the funds is just overwhelmingly beautiful. And we thank you so
Thanks.
much for inspiring the Give Butter community. Um, yeah, I just want to say thank you for sharing your story and thank you for your time today.
Well, thank you. And thank you for making it easy for us to raise money and give back to the community.
Thank you. Take care.
See ya.